Surprise episode. I was gonna hop on American Football Network. He's here. Med, how you doing, man? Thanks for hopping on Fun Football.
Man, doing great. Doing great. It feels like I saw you yesterday, but here we are on your podcast now. So
For 3 hours, and people stayed that whole time. I wish I had prizes to give out or something we'll have to talk about. Because dang, that was. But it was fun. My dad. I'm proud of him. He did great. He was
pretty
awesome,
great.
and he knows his football. So I'm excited to cut some more up with him in the future because he knows his stuff. We've got it's audio only, but we've got another person here. I just hopped on his show. He's going to put the recording out later. We've got Lincoln from the American Football Network. Why don't you tell people about your show and where to find it, man?
Yeah, so over here on American Football Network, we got pretty much everything and anything football, from college football, NFL, might even get a little spring league in with that coming up.
Ooh.
Excited to see that. But yeah, you can find me on YouTube at American Football Network, and you can find me on Twitter at AFN on YouTube.
I'm gonna work on my banners, like on the bottom. Me and Med will do that, but I'll be putting the link on Facebook and Twitter later on. So
Great, appreciate that.
yeah. So guys, go give him a sub. What's your goal right now? What are you trying to get to?
Trying to get to 1250 by the end of February. Let me see
There's
where
a one
I'm
in
at
front
right
of that.
now. I know
There's a one in the
I know I'm
front.
pretty close.
I'm up to 60.
I'm like, I just want to hit 100. Help me get to 100.
Yeah, I'm at 1221, so we're about 29 away from that.
Dude, my Twitter number and your YouTube number are almost identical. That's funny.
Wow.
That's like I'm at 1284. Yeah, we're pretty close. But that's impressive because YouTube's really hard to get people on. Twitter, it's like you can see it right there. They make it easy, so that's really impressive, dude. Me and him did a. I'm gonna plug it really quick. Me and him did a. It was really fun. I was NFC and he was AFC. Earlier today, we did a first round mock. It was pretty cool. I got the Packers receiver, which they'll never do, and Kool-Aid was available. You know they would go corner instead. But JJ McCarthy did make a first round pick, but not top 15. Just to preview it for y'all.
Wait a minute. JJ McCarthy went first round.
I actually was the one who took him. It was really tough, but the team needs a quarterback. Who do you think I took at 1, Med, if you had to guess? I was Bears.
I hope you chose Marvin Harrison Jr.
I wanted to.
Didn't you?
No. I did what I think they're going to do. I would take Marvin Harrison in a heartbeat. I took Jaden Daniels.
Oh, no, actually, I do like that more than Caleb Williams. So
exactly. He went too.
I think he's in my opinion, he's a better quarterback than Caleb Williams.
I agree. Thanks to the 6 people on. I appreciate it on short notice.
To me, Daniels is sort of like what Justin Fields is, but I feel like he sees the field better whenever he runs, and he's got more ball security. I think I saw a stat earlier today where Fields has 38 fumbles in 40 games.
Okay, hey, really quick.
That's very
so you're gonna hit. So to stream to your stuff before I forget, because I will. I do this every time. We've remembered for the first time last week, and we've had several guests. This is the first time I've had more than one person on my show, but you're going to hit more on your phone if you're on a phone.
I'm on computer.
Okay, then Med's your person.
All right, so we probably should have did this before it actually started.
Yeah, I know. 4 minutes in. Sorry. DB, thanks for joining, dude.
So there's supposed to be like a little box in the top that has like a little edit and everything, and it ain't showing on mine for whatever reason, but you are able to. I might actually have to drop out for a second. Hold on one.
I will too to get Janae in. Janae, give me a minute, okay? We're going to talk Super Bowl, just so you know. And normally I don't bring people on Fun Football, but this is a special episode, so he'll help get your stream set up, dude. I'm doing better with like having the person introduce their show in the beginning, but trying to get that going. Just so you guys know what's gonna be on the docket. We're gonna talk a little college football for a minute here, and then we're gonna get straight into Super Bowl, and I'm very excited.
It is not giving me an option.
Ned, I'm gonna invite Janae on this one. I normally don't open Fun Football up but I'm gonna do it on this one. So give me a second. I'll be right back, and you guys can talk for a second, help him get his stream set up, and then we'll start the show.
Right. So if you look up in the upper right hand corner where it says private chat and comments, it should have like a little pin that sits there and says edit. If you click on that, it'll give you the options of where you can stream. It's not doing it on mine for whatever reason, though.
Yeah, I don't see it on mine either.
Yeah, it's not letting us do it.
Which again, I mean, it's all good. I can just post the recording afterwards.
That's so odd though, because it worked with Steve. He said, "Remember?"
Yeah, it worked with me yesterday.
Yeah, you just did it yesterday. We're doing the same one on Shady's. That's super weird. I don't know why it's capping people. That doesn't make any sense. So I don't understand that at all. Okay, so we are going to talk some Super Bowl stuff. I've got some fun topics for y'all too. But I want to. We did a full breakdown on Blitz position by position, and that was a lot of fun. And that's why we decided to give Blitz a break this week, because we were like, what else do we have to talk about? Just other people, same topics, and it was 3 hours. So, Lincoln, what are your thoughts on this game, and who do you think has the edge overall?
I think this is going to be a great game. I'm excited to see the rematch, and I believe that was 2020, right before the world shut down. This game was. You know, and I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a dogfight, and there's been a lot of disrespect on Brock Purdy. I'm not one to disrespect him. I think he's a very good quarterback, but I also think he's a product of the system that he's in and the players around him. I think if you take him and put him in some other places, he probably doesn't perform as well. I think that I would give a lot of credit to Shanahan over that one. But you know, I think that it's going to be a good game. I think the Chiefs have the advantage on the defense, just because I don't see the Niners being able to really stop Pacheco. In this one, you know, you saw Aaron Jones have a huge game. You saw Montgomery have a big game last week, and Gibbs had a very good game as well. And you see even Dave Mack just in the regular season, I believe the Niners were like 29th overall in the NFL in rush defense. Now I don't know if that's by design, and they prefer teams run the ball on them instead of hitting them deep. But whatever it is, I mean, I think the Chiefs are going to be able to run the football, and that's going to open some stuff up over the middle for guys like Kelsey and Rashee Rice. You know, and get some play action in there. I think that's going to be huge for this Niners team, and I think that, I mean, for the Chiefs. So I think the Chiefs have the edge, but I think it's going to be a close game, and I think the Chiefs win somewhere between like 3 to 7 points. I don't see this being a lopsided game at all.
You know what's funny is we found this out when I did Blitz yesterday. You wouldn't have expected this the way the playoffs worked out, because Jones was getting bottled, but then he had that 55-yard run in the divisional round. I think it was like 55, 56 yards, something like that. So he ended up with over 100, but they really bottled him pretty well the rest of the game. But the Lions ran it all over them. And I was shocked to find this, because I knew the 49ers D on one point was solid. Through the season, they were 14th in pass defense, even though they have got Ward. Their second corner and their safeties that's their weak point. They're third in rush D. But the Lions attacked that. And I'm worried the Chiefs, even though they're only 19th, Pacheco's been banged up. I think that is how they're going to hit him. Hey, Shay.
It might have been a certain stretch that I heard where they were like, it might have been like the last half of the season or something, where they were far back in run defense.
Yeah, I think they fell off at the end of the year. They fell off in a lot of metrics. Defensively, I'm a little concerned about them. Like, outside of that defensive line, Warner's great, and you got Greenlaw, but what can they hang their hat on? The only thing that I think where they've got a chance here is the Chiefs. While they got to the Super Bowl, and I'm impressed, they don't have the same level of weapons they used to have. And to me, the 49ers should be really focusing on shutting down Kelsey. And I think that's how they're going to do this. So I know this was my show, but I got to open up the floor for everybody else. Janae, thanks for hopping on. She's hopped on me at Frozen Thunder before. This is my first episode of the Fun Football where I've had multiple people on. Most of the time, I keep it with just one guest. So thanks, everybody, for hopping on short notice. Chase says Cowboys. So, Janae, what are your thoughts?
Personally, like you said before, Kansas City is not the same Kansas City. Okay. I saw that they're just like any other team when Detroit beat them the first time in the beginning of the season. I was like, okay, if Detroit beat them like this, it's going to be a struggle. And a lot of it had to do, I guess you could say, with their go-to guy, Kelsey, not being in. But let's be clear, Kelsey hasn't been Kelsey this season.
Not
Okay.
most of the season. Just in the playoffs.
And yeah, I'm going to just keep it real because you know that's what I do. Honestly, San Francisco has a chance. And let me tell you why. If Purdy cleans it up a little bit and their defense does man-to-man on Kelsey and they can stop the runs against Kansas City and break it down like a fraction, they can take this game. They can take it. They can go up in there and take care of business if they want to. And that's a huge if. Now, everybody knows that Kansas City, they perform better when there's pressure. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, but also there's a lot of distractions lately off the field that is affecting Kansas City.
It doesn't seem to be stopping them. That's the funny thing. It seems to be everyone's forgetting about their defense, which is
right.
Kansas City's defense is why they're here. Casey's defense is why they got here. You got to play zone on Kelsey. I would either do that or double them. But I think if the 49ers want to win this game, Pacheco can't beat them and Kelsey can't beat them. I'm not as worried about Rashee Rice. They can't let Mahomes run all over.
Yeah, because you know MVS. I mean, who is he? He's hot and cold. You know, I mean, he was okay when he was on Green Bay. He was all right. He was okay, but
honestly, I was never a fan. I just wasn't.
I was just trying to give the man a little bit, but since we telling the truth.
I mean, Stanley honestly had problems with drops before he went to Kansas City, and Mahomes throwing him the ball didn't help him at all.
No, and it's like every time when they need him to come through to bring it back, I just hope he don't come down to MVS and Super Bowl because.
All right, I gotta bring Med in. He's got a Med. What are your? We talked a lot yesterday, but what are your thoughts on this?
Basically, you know, like I'm reading some of the comments right now, and you know, like you gotta play zone on Kelsey, and basically what you gotta do is you gotta be able to establish the run. The San Francisco defense is not up to what it was. It didn't really look particularly strong against the Packers nor the Lions as far as against the run. And before this, you know, that was one of the things that they were really kind of hung their hat on, is that they forced you to pass, which is why their pass defense was ranked at, I think, 14th towards the end of the year. But you look at the teams, you look at the experience that the Kansas City Chiefs have, they have it. As far as being on this stage, I mean, they've been to 3 Super Bowls in the past 6 years. This will be the 4th one. Mahomes always seems to thrive.
That's crazy.
And on this stage, he has the spotlight on him. And yeah, you know, Taylor Swift has been a distraction. I've seen memes where, you know, it had Travis Kelce with a hickey on his neck, and they're like, "Oh, she sucked." But,
I like it. That's funny. That's funny.
But, yeah, outside of Rice, Kelce, I love Pacheco. I think he is a very good. I love the way he runs, very downhill in between the tackles type runner. He doesn't have the breakaway speed, but I think really and truthfully, this is going to be the key matchup is going to be the San Francisco offensive line against the defensive line of the Chiefs, because Christian McCaffrey just played on another level this year. And, you know, a lot of people, they don't really like my take on, you know, that he probably should have won. I don't know who won the MVP yesterday, but I think he should have got it over Lamar Jackson, because he made a good offense into an elite one. And when you have 2,000 scrimmage yards for the season, kind of like what Marshall Faulk did back when there was the greatest show on turf, I really think that, you know, you got to kind of look at that. And, you know, Brandon Ayuk, there's just so many weapons on San Francisco's side, but I still picked Kansas City yesterday. I'm still going to pick Kansas City today because they always show up when it matters the most.
Yeah, that's my concern. Can Shanahan get this going? So I'm just going to be honest here. Lincoln was going to run the show, but I wanted to do a live stream. He was cool with it. So Lincoln, what other thoughts? What other stuff did you want to talk about in your preview? Because I know this is going to go up on your feed later too. So what else were you thinking, man?
Really, just a rundown of the Super Bowl, maybe some position advantages and disadvantages. For
We can
each
do
team,
that. So
something
why
like
don't
that.
why don't we run through, because everyone's on a time limit, and I can do good with this. I can throw up a timer, but unless they're going long, and I'm the one usually that thinks with that, so I'll be good. Why don't we do like a short round of that? Everyone takes a turn really quick, and why don't we run through? We'll combine receiver and tight end to make that one easier. Who do y'all think has this one should be pretty quick and easy. Who do y'all think has the quarterback advantage? We'll take turns. Lincoln, you went last there. Why don't you start? And then we'll go Janae, Matt, and then I'll go last.
I don't think this one needs much discussion. This will
No.
probably be the shortest one, but it's 100% Mahomes. Chiefs definitely have the better quarterback in this one, and that goes regardless of who they're matching up with. He's the best QB in the NFL.
Yeah. Me and Med did a top 10 list. We'll disclose where we had him. I can pull it up. I know where I had him. He did crack my top 10. Purdy did, but yep. Janae, what's your thoughts? I know you love Mahomes.
I'm gonna be the underdog in this one. I'd say Purdy, because Purdy's got something special. I don't know what, like, he just it's like every time when he gets the ball and he takes his it just amazes me on what he can do. It's like, at first I didn't think he was, because of how he was picked and how he did it, and how he came in to San Francisco. I didn't think he was gonna be much, but when the team has really needed him, he has stepped up, especially this season. So I'm just anxious. Again, I can't stand either team. Okay, because
Yeah.
we had him. Dang it, we had him. But I'm tired of Mahomes. I want to see somebody else, shine through. I want to be optimistic in this one. I'm gonna go with Purdy.
Okay, cool. All right, Ned, what you got?
So basically the same thing I said yesterday is, I agree with Janae. Purdy is special. I mean, he's really clutch. He, unfortunately in my eyes, he always waits till the second half to really hulk up, I guess is the best way to put it.
You like my Hulk thing? I like it.
Yeah, I like that. But me
I
personally,
got that from Bill Simmons. So
it's
yeah.
easily, like Lincoln said, it's easily Mahomes. I mean, there's only two quarterbacks, like I said before, that has beaten them in the playoffs, and it's being Brady and Burrow. And I personally don't have a problem with Kansas City winning. I mean, I don't care much about dynasties and all, but I mean, at the same time, I have seen some stuff happen recently. And if this is one of those things where you kind of just sit back, watch, and enjoy the show. Andy Reid is a much more likable person than Bill Belichick. Brady,
that's for sure.
New England, I could not stand, but I liked him in Tampa. But Patrick Mahomes, he just seems like a guy that you could actually sit at the bar, have a beer with, and not feel intimidated by him. So, but Mahomes is, to me, the better quarterback.
I agree, and I think it's decisive. I like Purdy a lot. He can use his wheels too, just like Mahomes, and he actually edged him in some statistical categories. I'm going to do a shorter breakdown of this than I did yesterday on each position, but I like your Packer Cup, Janae. That's cool.
Thank you.
I don't want to love. I like that's really cool. I don't want it to be Mahomes. I'm a little over it, but he is great. He's an all-time great. I do think Purdy can, if he can win this game, can start to stop these discussions. I didn't say this yesterday about how he's just a product of the system. Like, some people will still say it, but if he gets the Super Bowl, that'll still be there. But I think it'll start to go away a little bit. He could prove some doubters that are out there where he had some weak games against Baltimore this year and a couple other games. But honestly, for the most part, the dude's been pretty darn good. He has great weapons. That's not a knock on him. Let's see if he can elevate the team, and if he can get a win here. He was like 7th on my list on the top 10. Mahomes is 1. So there's a gap, but I don't think it's as big as everybody thinks. Like Joe has him at like 18th. I don't see that. He's not. And his runs in that Lions game were part of the reason they won. Now, if he comes out, though, we haven't talked about this. We kind of did. If he comes out and throws some bad passes like he did against Green Bay, it was rainy, or Detroit dropped a couple picks, and KC catches those, and they're not great at takeaways, as good as the defense is, but if KC catches those picks, game's over. It's a wrap.
Facts.
Okay. This one I also think will be quick. Let's go reverse order. I'll go first. Running backs. I love Pacheco. He is awesome. Ned nailed it with the Marion Barber comparison from the Cowboys. I agree, but McCaffrey is the better running back here in a landslide, and he's the best running back in the league. So it's kind of like the same disparity between quarterback and running back for me. McCaffrey is the best. He just is. His ability to catch the ball. He's such a gamer. I think this is a big legacy game for him. If he wants to get on the Hall of Fame, like first ballot, he needs a couple more good seasons, and he needs a ring to stat pad that, because guys like Tomlinson didn't get that ring. Sean Alexander didn't get that ring, but they still have an awesome legacy. Getting a ring from McCaffrey will be huge. Because to me, he was their MVP this year, not Purdy. So I got to go McCaffrey. Med, you're up.
Okay, so we're going back in reverse order. Okay. So,
Yeah.
no, it's definitely McCaffrey with me, too. You just heard me compare Isaiah Pacheco with Marion Barber, and then you heard me talk about how Christian McCaffrey kind of reminded me of Marshall Faulk when he was with The Greatest Show on Turf. So you have me talking about a guy that spent 7 years in the league and a guy that became a Hall of Famer and is one of the best of all time. I'm not saying that he's on the same level as Marshall Faulk, but in this case, he is much better than Pacheco. And I love Pacheco, but I love some Christian McCaffrey too. And I like how he's been running a little bit more physical in between the tackles. And it looks like he's been hitting the weight room. So I've seen those guns the other day. So, I mean, dude is beasting up big time. Give me Christian.
He has been beefing up. Janae, what's your thought?
McCaffrey all day. And let me tell you why. The man, when he hits the spin and he's running the ball like Jones, it's over. You're not catching him. You're not stopping him. The man is like a mad truck. Okay? Once he sees where he's trying to go, you're not stopping that man. It's just, at this point, I'm sorry. The other dude has not impressed me this season the way that McCaffrey has impressed me. The way he ran on Dallas, the way he ran on us, the way he ran on Detroit. Like it, and those are some hard teams. You know what I'm saying? Defensive wise, especially against, because Dallas, for the most part, they do have a solid D. Like, it's very rare that you're getting through somebody like Micah Parsons. And the fact that he ran through him like it was nothing, I'm just like, oh, snap. Okay. All right. I know what time it is now.
All right.
The man, I mean, have you seen his arms?
I just told you. I was like, dude has been hitting the weight room. Like,
Yeah.
Dude, you've been working out like Steph Curry in the NBA
like,
with
what
a
is
slender
he
little
bench
guy.
press?
And you look at Steph now, it's like he's been working out. McCaffrey knew he needed to put up that muscle because he was having injury problems and his career was, you got to respond. That's one of my problems. Like, I'm going to go to another NBA thing because I'm going to try to do an NBA show this week. There's another problem I have with Anthony Davis. Dude doesn't work out enough. Like, hit it, like, you're getting paid that much. I want to see you in shape. Sometimes injuries happen. And McCaffrey, did you guys see that game this year where he had like green on the back of his arms? He had bruises like everywhere. And I was like, man.
Did you see how Jones got messed up? But he was in there, and then if you watch the Michigan game with Blake Corum, the running back Blake Corum, his nose, remember that? But he still took care of business. He was smiling when he got that touchdown, blood everywhere. I'm just like, go ahead, boy.
Yep. Lincoln, what's your thoughts on running backs?
Yeah, again, this one's pretty easy, and I think it's a much bigger gap than the quarterback is an advantage for the Niners. Obviously, McCaffrey's the best running back in the NFL. And I think part of that gap as well, going back to I saw the comment that Back It Up Binge podcast said they should use Pacheco out of the backfield more. I think part of the reason that gap is so much bigger is the way Shanahan and the Niners use McCaffrey as well. I feel like he's really
I agree
used
with
a lot
that.
better. I feel like
Also,
he's clearly
go ahead. You're good. Sorry. No, you're good. I'm
He's-
gonna plug his show in a second. You're good.
Okay. Yeah, he's clearly more versatile. Just in general.
Mhm.
I feel like he's a better runner, but I feel like they're pretty even in that category. But just the way Shanahan uses him out of the backfield, always finding ways to get him the football, get him out in space, let him run. I feel like really just makes that gap even more than it already is.
I like it, man. All right, let's go receivers, and I think we'll go through all the position groups, and then I want to come up with some other predictions we didn't do on Blitz, so we got some new stuff at least. But let's talk receivers. This to me is a landslide, but let's go into different order. Med, you haven't gone first. Why don't we do Med, Janae, Lincoln, and then I'll go last on this one, I guess. We'll do that order. So Med, what's your thought on the receiver group?
It's the 49ers.
Yeah.
It's just when you got Valdez, Scantling, and Tony dropping key passes, really and truthfully, outside of Kelsey and Rice, there's no one that really scares me as far as like a receiver goes in the Kansas City offense. But if you look over at, even Pachinko, if he's coming out of the backfield, I mean, you count him as a receiver, he gets the ball rarely out of the backfield. As far as like the other side, you got Brandon Ayuk, you got Deebo Samuel, you got Kittle, you got Jennings, you got a solid cast from top to bottom.
Oh yeah, so I forgot to say we are including tight ends, so you can toss Kelsey in, but just to double it up here.
And that's what I did. But
no, I like it because we didn't do that yesterday, so I kind of like doing that on this one.
But as far as that goes, I mean, it's to me hands down San Francisco, and that's just it.
Agreed. Janae, what's your thoughts on this one?
I have to go with San Francisco because Deebo Samuels is more dependable than, like, let's say a receiver like MVS. Sorry, didn't mean to bust that man out like that, but to me, San Francisco has all the weapons. Like George Kittle is nasty. Okay, you got Sam, you got Deebo. So it's like y'all have what y'all need. Just go up in there and do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. Don't waste time. Manage your clock properly. I feel like that as far as like on the receiving end, I'm sorry, I'm getting off subject, but to answer your question, I would have to go with San Francisco because to me, their weapons are better, especially on the receiving end. They're just better.
Hey, Janae, also after receivers, maybe after our line, before the show ends, remind me to ask you more about your show idea. Me and Matt are gonna talk to you about it. Okay,
sure, so, no problem.
Oh, and really quick before Lincoln, guys, check out Back It Up Binge podcast. They're awesome on YouTube. Go give them a sub and give them a listen. I'm gonna start doing better with that for people that I know have shows. A lot of people that listen are Facebook friends, but I got to give them a plug. Okay, Lincoln, receivers. What's your thought?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously it's the Niners. There's not really a debate there. You got Samuel, you have Ayuk, you got Kittle.
Jennings even makes plays.
And going back to what Med said, with with the Chiefs outside of Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce, nobody really scares you. And it's really with Rashee Rice, does he even really scare you most of the time? I mean, he's been inconsistent as well. He's obviously stepped it up and played a little bit more consistent here recently, but it's not like he's been going out there getting 100 yards a game here these last few weeks either. Like he's definitely had his ups and downs as well. But the thing I will point out, and I know we'll get to this later when we talk about cornerbacks, is I do feel though the Chiefs are more capable of guarding these receivers. I mean, L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie.
Agreed.
Whoever Sneed's on is going to be completely erased from the play, basically every play. And you could argue the same with McDuffie. I mean, they got the tools to go up against these receivers, but just looking at the receivers and the talent, it's 100% San Francisco, and it's not even close. I think that's the biggest gap of all of them so far.
Nice. I like it. The Ayuk thing, people forget about him. He's a stud. Jennings can make plays. Kittle and Kelsey are probably, with Laporta, the best two tight ends in the league. And the difference maker here is Rice is a rookie, stepped up, had a decent season, but there are better rookies out there even. And you've got Deebo Samuel. So this is another decisive one in favor of the 49ers. Now, we actually, on Blitz, talked about the O-lines. I know people probably don't know the O-line collectively. What's the guy's name? Ned, the Chiefs guy that's going to sit?
Tunney.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was thinking of the
pectoral muscle.
Yeah, he's probably going to be out. So this is an interesting one because the offensive lines could be the difference here because if I'm giving obviously advantage receivers and tight ends to San Fran. So this is what I was talking about. KC is lacking weapons. This is why I think if the 49ers are going to win. But I really like Lincoln's point that the Chiefs secondary, because they have two corners, the 49ers don't, are more capable of handling that 49ers receiving core. The one thing I'm worried about for San Fran is this could be a replica of that Baltimore game, where if you get in their pass, because they've got Chris Jones coming up the middle. So they got all the ingredients on this to this. They just got to put it together. Getting Chris Jones and the other dude, bothering me. Thank you. I've been looking up a bunch of college kids today. I've studied for we did that draft in an extra hour or two, like 2 or 3 hours. So I've been filling my brain with all these college kids. But anyways, the Chiefs can get pressure, and that is the weakness of the 49ers line is the interior. And those corners can lock down. I'm kind of previewing what I'm going to say about the secondaries. But I'm worried they can disrupt the timing of the Chiefs, of the 49ers. And this is where Kittle's going to be huge. Huge. He's going to have to make a difference here. Thanks to the 9 people listening. People just 30 minutes in, they were like, oh, hey, Fun Football Podcast is on. There we go.
Let's watch this and watch flag football on CBS. So, I mean.
Hey, we're winning. We're taking people from the big networks. I love it. Come watch this. Check out Shady Sports' other shows. And on Podcast Boys Network, we've got this and Blitz, and then I'll be on Shots from the Sideline with Ned on Tuesday. I'm plugging that one too.
7 o'clock.
And I think me and American Football, we're gonna have him on Blitz, and I'm gonna hop on his show for a Packer mock, which I'm excited about. Okay, we got to go different order here. If you guys don't know much about the lines, it's no big deal. I've got the players pulled up. Lincoln, let's go you first, and then we'll go Janae, Ned, and I'll end this one too, I guess. Offensive line, who has the edge? Chiefs with that guard out, or the 49ers?
So I'm giving the edge to the 49ers, but again, only because Joe Thuney's out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the best guard in the NFL, and I mean
Exactly.
he's on a whole nother level than the number 2. He's just that good, that big of a difference maker. And when you look at the style of run that Kansas City runs, they like to pull a bunch of guards and move people around. A lot of pulling action in their run plays. And I feel like without that guard in Thuney, who gets pulled a lot on those run plays for Pacheco, I think that's really going to hurt this Chiefs run game. And I think that could really play into the hands of the Niners' weakness, I would say, on defense, especially these last few weeks in that run defense. And when you look at San Francisco, I mean, that offensive line has just been dominant. The Packers, they didn't get a whole lot of pressure on Purdy. The Lions didn't really get – I mean, the Lions got basically zero pressure against Purdy in the second half.
That's a good point. They really did.
Yeah, so, I mean, if they come out and play like they did in the first half against Detroit, there's a good chance that, that the Chiefs are able to get some good pressure on Purdy. But if they come out like they did in that second half, obviously Chris Jones up the middle is going to be a big problem. But I don't see the Chiefs having an edge rusher like Bosa. Not Bosa, like Hutchinson coming around the edge. I think he's better than any edge rusher on the Chiefs, and he was the one causing all the problems in that game in the first half for him. So I don't know if they're really even going to be able to attack that. I think San Francisco's got the better offensive line. I think this is probably the closest gap that we've had between the two. I think they're pretty solid squads, but with Tooney out, you got to give it to the Niners.
I like it, man. Good breakdown. Janae, you have any thoughts on the O-line? What do you think? Who do you think has the edge? So the only injury is the Chiefs guy, like you said, is out. What are you thinking here?
I have to give it to the 49ers as far as like the best offensive line. I mean, they have guys like, Young, and they have Purdy, and they have Kettle, and they have McCaffrey, if I said his name right.
Yep.
And they have Purdy. I mean, they have what they need to handle what they need to handle. But the thing is, they have to be all gas and no brakes, meaning they can't make any mistakes. Okay, they can't afford to not capitalize on getting out there, running the ball, throwing the ball. You know what I'm saying? And if you got to take a shot down the field, take a shot down the field. Handle your business. Don't be scared. Don't be throwing like you lost it, confused, and you can't figure out where you're supposed to go with your routes. I need receivers to receive. I need running backs to run the ball. And I'm going to need the quarterback to get his head in the game. And it could easily be theirs. I have to go with the 49ers.
I like it, Med.
So I looked at some stats real quick because I honestly didn't think Hutchinson really did much in that game. Not
He
calling
didn't,
anyone.
right?
Yeah, he didn't have no tackles or no sacks or anything, and that's mainly
Ooh.
like he just said that Tunney is the best guard in the NFL. Trent Williams is the best tackle in the NFL right now. There's a reason why he's nicknamed Silverback. The dude is just a boss. And when you sit there and you have a guy that can actually anchor the left tackle spot like he can, really and truthfully, I said it last time, is the injury. You got Jawan Taylor, who is kind of a downgrade from what Orlando Brown was last year. And you also, overall, it's the 49ers offensive line. I mean, if they just come out and fire like they did on the second half of that Detroit game, then they'll be straight.
I agree. I actually did in the mock draft. I took an interior lineman for the 49ers, but to be honest, man, they really did handle Detroit, and Green Bay didn't get a ton of pressure either. Now, that Baltimore game was interesting because they actually did get in his face, and that's Baltimore's D. So as good as the Lions line is, and it's special, I'm curious if the Chiefs will be able to push them back, because that's going to be huge. And that could be one of the differences in the game, because if Purdy has all day, I think the 49ers have a shot. And this is going to be one of the deciding factors in this game. So I'm going to go San Fran because of Tunney's out, but also because of the way the 49ers line has been playing recently. It's probably – this is close. This one's the closest of any of these on offense so far. So I'm going to go first. I went last, and the last two we're going to do D-line, where we'll do linebacker, secondary, coach, and then I've got some other fun Super Bowl predictions. And then I think everyone's got to bounce a little early, so we'll see if anybody has anything else. We're going to keep it shorter. Defensive line, the funny thing is, now that we really, like Lincoln brought up a good point, and Janae and Med did too, I was thinking the Chiefs D-line would make the bigger impact, even though the 49ers D-line is their strength. But now with Tunney out, I'm going to split this from the blitz. I'm going to go 49ers. I'm going to go 49ers D-line. As good as Chris Jones is, he's money in these games. I think the collective, if Chase Young can do anything, I think the collective of Armstead, Hargrave, and Nick Bosa are going to be more than what the two stars on the Chiefs D-line have to offer here. So I'm going to go 49ers. I'm going to flip it. And partly because of the way the San Fran O-line's been playing. So, Med, why don't we go Med, Janae, Lincoln on this one?
Okay. So the edge as far as defensive line goes on my ideas, I'm still going to go with the Chiefs because I just think Chris Jones is the best defensive tackle, and he has a running mate now with Karlaftis. I do like what San Francisco has done with their offensive line. Our defensive line. It's a nightmare. They got Chase Young, who hasn't really done anything since he's come over from Washington. They got Bosa. They got Javon Hargrave. They got a lot of pass rushers. Now, what they don't have is a lot of run stuffers, and you kind of need that to be able to actually have a complete defensive line. So I'm just going to go 49ers. I had a really cool stat, but my brain just farted, and now it's gone. So
That's
Whoever's
what happens when you do a 3-hour show the day before. You lose brain cells. It's funny.
Yeah,
Thanks for doing this. Hey, Ned, I got to say thanks for doing it again, man. I appreciate
hey,
it.
no problem.
Lincoln, hopefully this is what you envisioned, and I hope you're having fun, man.
Oh, for sure, man. It's great. I love this.
All right, Janae, defensive line. You got some stars. What's your thoughts? This is Chase Young.
Again, I'm gonna have to ride with the 49ers on this. You got Chase Young, who's the left defensive tackle. You got Nick Bosa, who's the right. Okay, you got strong like linebackers like Burks. So it's like, if they just get in there and, like I said, and all gas, no brakes, and they score on both sides of the ball, not only catch a pick, but score with the pick, it's lights out. And if they just put pressure on Patricia, but be careful so they don't get a flag and they breathe on him, just put the pressure on him because he can't throw under pressure still. Handle your business. This could be your chance. If you want it, take it.
All right. I like it. Lincoln, what's your thoughts, man? Defensive line.
Yeah, so I think the more talented defensive line is the Niners, but kind of the way I was looking at this between the running backs, I'm going with the Chiefs just because I feel like the Chiefs are going to be schemed up a lot better to play as well. I think they're going to have a better plan, and I think that like Med said, Chris Jones, I mean, he's just going to wreck.
I know. I almost did it for that. Yeah, Chris Jones is stupid. He reminds me of Aaron Donald the way he steps up at the end. It's just ridiculous.
And these are the kind of games that he steps up in.
Yeah, I know.
We saw last week against the Ravens, where and they're so selfless too. They they said with the Chiefs defensive line, they said we're not going to let Lamar Jackson get out and run the football. And I think that between Mahomes and Purdy, that's a big thing in both of them's game. They said Lamar's not going to get out and run. They were so selfless, they didn't care about the stats. All 4 defensive linemen for that KC defense all just bull rush straight up the field, straight into their man. They weren't looking for sacks. They weren't trying to get the stats. They knew their back end could handle them. They just bull rush straight up the field, which, maintains good, good gap coverage on the line, doesn't give Lamar holes to slip out of the pocket. And I feel like they're going to be able to do the same thing like that. Just bull rush straight up the field, close the gaps. And I think that'll work good in the, in the running game as well with McCaffrey. I think that D-line's really going to be able to contain him a lot. And I just think that Kansas City's going to have the better defensive line in this game. And I think that they're pretty evenly talented. And when you add in the scheme, I think that the Chiefs have the better D-line.
And honestly, and then Ben wants to say something really quick. And also, this is going to be the difference. This is where San Fran lost against Baltimore. They're going to have to be able to contain Chris Jones if they want to win. And I almost picked KC for that. I did yesterday. And the only reason I flipped it was the way San Fran's O-line's been playing. But it was like, I almost want to say tie. Ned, what you got?
So first, I wanted to just mention that I pet my bear just to see if anyone make a reaction. I didn't know if Janae made the reaction when I was sitting there stroking my bear sign back here, but I saw it. I just wanted to see if I got something.
I like it. I like it.
Basic football knowledge, and Lincoln, anyone that watches football knows this. The games are won in the trenches. This is always going to be a key thing, because to beat a good passing team, you got to be able to put pressure on the quarterback and stop the run game and everything. The game is going to be run out of the one between who's going to be better at the ball, like at the line of scrimmage, and that's just facts. So
facts.
Agreed. Okay, I'm going to go first. We're going to do linebackers, secondary, special teams coaching, and then I've got a few other little Super Bowl things. And if anybody else has anything else at the end, I'm getting a little hungry. So I'm going to keep it just Super Bowl show. I may try to talk the wife. She hates the Chiefs. I may try to talk her into joining me for a show next Sunday, but I don't know if I'll be able to talk her into it. So we'll see. But I loved having her on here. So, and then I'm going to be taking a hiatus. I'm going to do a post-Super Bowl show, and then I'm going to take a 2 or 3 week little vacation, and then come back for free agency, just so everyone knows. I'll still be making little posts and videos, but taking a little break. But before we get there,
how are you doing though, Isaac? How are you doing?
I'm good. I've just done too many shows. Plus, there's not a lot to talk about after the Super Bowl. There is free agency, but there's a few weeks, and I thought it'd be good for me to take a recharge.
Of course. And regroup.
Yeah, I've been keeping busy with this, and the wife's gone for a week. But then afterwards, I already talked to Matt about it with Blitz too. Regroup, take a break.
We'll talk about that.
Start playing some video games, some other stuff. I loaded up this week on purpose, but also it's kind of a dead zone for the NFL anyways. There's like 2 weeks of where there's really not much.
Do you play Call of Duty?
Yeah, I do.
I play too.
She does too. I'll get your handle. She'll play with it. She's got a group. I just bought her Modern Warfare 3. I actually haven't played it much recently because it infuriates me, but I still, it's a lot of fun. So,
well, my husband, really quickly, the only reason why I play because my coming out game was Call of Duty Ghost, and the reason why I play is because my husband's like, if you want me to do what you want, you have to do what I want. So I compromise with him in that, and we game together. It's pretty cool.
Look at Call of Duty making its way on the show. I love it.
Right.
And then Lincoln,
real quick, like you're talking about with the I play a little bit. I'm pretty busy with school and work and stuff, and trying to keep the YouTube channel up. But I get on the game whenever I can. But like you're talking about, when it gets kind of dead for football, I mean, dude, it's so hard running just a football channel at this time. I mean, really, the only thing that works at this time, especially on YouTube, is just the mock drafts, and that's really about it. And that takes a lot of work and a lot of effort to really research and try and guess what's going to happen with free agent stuff. Dude,
I tried earlier. That was I don't even know college players that great. I just went on a mock draft site, and I know the teams and their positions, so that was what helped me. But I don't know a lot about a ton of those players, so that was tough. Because me and Ned, he's plugged it. I'm going to plug it on this show now. I haven't really talked it. Yeah. Ed on YouTube, not on Facebook. What's up, dude? He's one of my buddies. He's going to be joining for the, he doesn't know he's going to be on the air yet, but he's going to be joining for the new fantasy show that we're doing. And he's got to come on because it's going to be live. So the new fantasy league we're going to do in late August, early September, we're going to live stream Lincoln. We're going to do a live stream of a draft, and that's going to be a new league.
That's going to be awesome. I got to make sure I tune into that one.
Yeah, man. We're trying to get 10. If you're interested, we're a couple short. We're getting close, though, actually. So let me know. Okay, let's do linebackers.
Out if you need another one.
You are? Awesome.
Sure. For sure.
I'll set up a group message. We already got one, but I'll set up another one on Twitter. My dad said he might have a couple people, and me and Matt are going to talk some more. You appreciate the donations. So if I beat you, and I've got a bet for you on air right now. If I beat you, I'm not going to make you wear any Packers stuff, but you have to come on my show and say the Packers are your daddy. And if you beat me and you get further, I'm going to come on and say Dak Prescott is the best quarterback. I'll say it. I'll say it for you.
And tell him to wear a made outfit while he's doing it.
Yeah. You got to make it further than me because the Cowboys aren't going to make it further than Green Bay. So you got to get a win somewhere.
Now I told you they ain't been to Super Bowl since the Tootsie Roll came out. Stop playing.
Lincoln, sorry, what you said?
Only difference is if he wins and he's making you come on air and lie.
Maybe I'll wear my CD Lamb jersey for an episode. I've got one here that I got from a few years ago. He said, let me think about it. Yeah, think about it, man. I do want to, hey, though, for real, I want everybody on. I want to do a live one. I think it'll be fun. For at least for the fantasy thing. For the mock, we might do a recording. But for the fantasy one, I want to do it live. I think it'll be not only a hit, but I think it'll also be a lot of fun. Like the mock draft was earlier. So, or like we did the first round mock. That was pretty cool. Okay, linebackers. This one's tough. We were talking this. I love the 49ers linebackers. I really, really do. But this is one where if I could say tie, I'd say tie, just like the defensive lines. Like I'm really honestly thinking tie with the Chris Jones thing. But I'm going to go Chiefs slightly, which is a surprise because because of the difference in pass defense, and that's where the 49ers struggle. And I can't put all of that on the secondary. It's got to some of that onus has got to fall on the linebackers, and that's one of my worries. Just the little Packers snip really quick. That's one of my concerns about them running into a 4-3 with their personnel. They're going to need to do something because the Packers linebackers suck in pass coverage, so they're going to have to figure that out. Because Preston Smith as our cornerback too doesn't work for anybody. So this is where, to me, the Chiefs slightly win. As much as I like Warner and Greenlaw, and Greenlaw did get us. Med reminded me yesterday.
Twice.
2 picks. But in general, the 49ers pass D is their weakness. And recently, the 49ers have gotten torched in the run game. I'm giving edge Chiefs here, especially with how it's played out in the playoffs. Let's do a different order. Let's do let's go Lincoln, Janae, Med on this one.
Yeah, so I mean, we talked about it with Chris Jones. Med talked about it with Trent Williams on the offensive line, and I'm going to keep the same thing going here. Fred Warner is the best linebacker in the NFL.
He is.
He's the best, and I really feel like Warner, as much as the Niners have struggled in pass coverage, if the Niners will just stay committed to leaving Warner one-on-one with Travis Kelce, Kelsey's going to be eliminated for the majority of this game. If a play breaks down, he may get open, but I feel like just on his route, Warner's going to be able to stick with him and hang right there with him. If Kelsey's going to do anything in this game, if the Niners commit to sticking to that, Kelsey's going to have to make some just insane circus catches, just heavily contested catches. So I'm going with San Francisco here. Again, it's just by a very slim margin, but give the edge to him with Fred Warner being the best linebacker in the NFL.
I got to say one quick thing. I completely agree. But it was just that first half in Detroit. It's got me in my brain just.
That's what I'm a little worried about.
They can't come out flat. And the Chiefs, This is kind of the unsung hero of that defense, and what the pursuit of those linebackers. They're the unsung heroes of that defense. I love Bolton, but they're just people don't really think about the Chiefs linebackers. They think about the corners when they think about their D. If they do, they think about Chris Jones. They think about Snead. They don't think about Bolton, and this is tough because the 49ers are name brand here, but the way the Lions came out and ran it right down the 49ers' throat in the first half, if they stayed committed to that in the second half, I think they would have won.
And not only that, it concerns me too with saying that about Warner on Kelce, is that if they don't commit to that, which we saw, Warner wasn't on Laporta the entire game. It was a lot of zone coverage and Laporta running around. He had 9 catches on 13 targets for 97 yards. And that could be a problem.
That won't get it done. That won't get it done.
Yeah, that could be a problem. If Kelsey's moving like that, that's going to draw a bunch of attention. And then I know we've dogged on him a lot during the show, but that with MVS's speed, he may get deep on somebody. Now, whether he'll catch it or not,
it'll off his hands.
Yeah, but he'll probably get open one-on-one with somebody down there.
Janae, did you like the MVS? I like Lincoln. Awesome take, man. Janae, linebackers. This is a kind of a tough one. There's some good names here. What do you think? 49ers, Casey.
Listen, I think it's a draw.
Okay. We made people on the other show pick one. So if you were like slightly like I was on defensive line, if you were like leaning one way or the other just a little, which way would you lean?
I would have to lean towards the Chiefs on this one.
Tough one, right?
Because like you said, that Detroit game, where was defense? Where was it?
I mean, even the second half, but it was a big momentum swing, honestly.
It was like, you know how when you perm your hair and then you go outside in the rain, why would you do that? It's not going to work.
I agree. You know? I've got so much hair to perm too. Like there's so much here.
It's like a wet peanut butter sandwich. Don't nobody want it. Don't nobody want a wet peanut butter sandwich. It's useless.
I
Like,
know my wife makes fun of my hair already because I'm only 35. I'm like, yeah. Gibbs, they slowed him down. Montgomery had 93 yards. Laporta torched him. St. Brown, they got away from him in the second half, and he still had 87 yards.
we got the
Reynolds
wrong
dropped
St.
2
Brown.
passes. Yeah, man. Oh my gosh. So the Packers had St. Brown. But so Janae, you took Chiefs, Med, linebackers.
Just to basically second what Lincoln said, Fred Warner is by far the best linebacker in the game. But I will say that I am a huge fan of Nick Bolton too, who is the Kansas City's inside linebacker, and he's a top 5. So I mean, but when you look at the two teams and everything like that, I give the edge to the 49ers. Now, the one thing I will say about the 49ers linebackers is that they're a bit too aggressive sometimes, and that's actually how Detroit exploited them. They ran a lot of counter runs. They ran a lot of counter runs that would actually throw them off, and like you said, the Chiefs too. But I mean, you have to that's how you throw them off. You basically do counter runs, a little slant here, a little slant there. As far as like the Chiefs go, they are a little bit more stationary, and they don't really rely as much as what they do with their defensive line and their secondary. But yeah, no, San Francisco still has
sound. It's just sound. Everything's sound on the Chiefs. Even the offense has been more wonky, but the Chiefs, everything's sound on that defense. Like they never feel like. Yeah, it does.
It comes down to technique and scheme, and in that case, you would look towards Chiefs. But position-wise, this is a 49er spot.
So I'll start this one. We'll go Med, Janae, and then we'll end with Lincoln. Secondary, that's corners and safety. I'm going Chiefs. I think it's a landslide. The 49ers don't have a second corner. The luck for them is all they have to do is not let Scantling, Justin Watson, or Kadarius Toney torch them, the second receiver, because they don't have a second corner. The 49ers invest that great. But the Chiefs do. They've got Snead and McDuffie, and that secondary has been stout. I think this is a landslide victory for the Chiefs. Med, what's your thought?
So, like how I talked about that games are won in the trenches and everything. This is the other side show that's going to be great. What's going to happen between the scrub ass wide receiver core that is Chiefs and the scrubs that are the secondary of the 49ers? And, I hate to say it like that, but I know this is a children's show, but
we could say the little scrubbies out there that are the 49ers receivers, not named Rice.
But also, when you flip it, this is also going to be a big matchup like Lincoln touched up on before with Snead and McDuffie. I mean, with McDuffie, I try to trade for him every time I play Madden right now. He's just that good.
I love Snead is great too, dude.
Yeah, no,
they both are.
And if they're locking him down on the Ayuk, I mean that's going to be the big thing right there is who you're going to have guard who. And as far as that goes, it is the Chiefs. It's not close. I mean, they do have Charvarius Ward, who had 5 interceptions for the San Francisco.
I like him. He's good.
Yeah, he's decent.
But also, is this the best cornerback tandem in the NFL? I think so.
Yes.
Yeah. Like the Browns, I loved what they had on D, but they didn't have a second corner on this level. The Ravens don't, and that's really it. The Cowboys aren't even they're not in the conversation.
Well, normally
the Jets had one, but no team had 2 like this, and that's what makes them special.
And that's kind of what I was going to touch up on is that most teams they're lucky if they have 1. They have 2.
They have 2.
They have 2. And, these are 2 guys that would be the number 1 corner on any other team. If Snead's already the number 1 on this team, McDuffie would be the number 1 on any other team.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like when you've got 2 stud receivers, it's just a benefit. Like when you've got, that's why the Eagles are dumb enough to trade Brown. Whichever team lands him, good for them. Because that'll be a mistake and a half. They shouldn't do it. I've been hearing rumors about that. So. Okay, Janae, corners, because I want to try to add my little stuff at the end here. Janae, not corners, secondary, corners and safety. Who has the edge?
I have to agree with Med. Everything he said, everything. He took everything I was going to say.
That's like, yeah, there you go. And thank you for 5 people for sticking for an hour. We don't have too much left. We're gonna finish this up. Lincoln, you touched on it earlier. I'm betting you're leaning Chiefs, but what are your thoughts?
Oh yeah, Chiefs by landslide, like everybody has agreed on. And I think one of the biggest guys that is he's obviously not the best player in the secondary for the Chiefs, but I feel like he gets slept on a lot, is Justin Reed at safety, man. The way that he just plays
Yeah.
that quarter of that defense, he is just a beast back there. And I think Snead may be one of the most underrated corners in the NFL. I think the dude has a strong argument as the best corner in the NFL. And I feel like a lot of people don't really know who he is and don't know a whole lot about him and don't put enough respect on him. And like you're talking about, most teams, they're lucky to have one. The Chiefs have 2 Pro Bowlers. Excuse me, not Pro Bowlers, 2 All Pros at corner with McDuffie.
So I'm looking at PFF, and they've got like for corner rankings, they've got Jalen Johnson 1, Deron Bland, and I'm sorry, this is a terrible list because he's all pick 6 or nothing. That dude can get scored. This is a terrible list, but I just wanted names. Sauce Gardner, he is awesome, so he's one that could have the argument. Man, this list sucks.
The only issue with Snead and the McDuffie in the secondary, as far as the Chiefs are concerned, is they don't take the ball away. They for some reason they have like the hands of a lineman, and when the ball hits them in the hands, just drop it. So I mean, catch the ball.
I will say that to that point though, they do remind me of the Ravens corners a few years back when they had Humphrey, and I can't think of who was across from him.
Peters.
Yeah. They can't catch the ball for interceptions, but they sure can punch it out.
They can
And this is how the Cowboys used to be this way. They used to have guys that didn't pick the ball off before they had Diggs and Bland, and that's how the Cowboys used to be. And I thought they were better for it, even though I know their turnovers helped them. But you watch Bland in the playoffs and against Seattle and some other games, and you can torch the dude. So I'd rather have guys, while takeovers are vital, I'd rather have a secondary like the Chiefs. Because you're right,
Exactly.
Reed's awesome, and Snead and McDuffie is the best. Yeah.
And Snead punching that ball out at the goal line last week.
Oh, man.
May have
Huge.
saved the
Difference
Chiefs the
maker.
game.
Him and
might have
Kelsey, the way they
saved
played in the first half and the coaching were what got them there. Okay, so I do want to talk coaching, but we'll do special teams really quick. It's kind of tough. We'll go reverse order. Lincoln, Janae, Mad, me. Special teams. Who has the edge? 49ers or Chiefs?
This one is really tough. It's really
Yes,
tough.
it is.
But when you look at it overall, I'm going with the Chiefs. I feel like they have
Okay.
a slightly better kicker. I think punter's pretty much a push. But what really gives me the edge is the Clemson fan. I know this. I don't like Ray McCloud as a return man. I just don't know. He's been better in the NFL than he has been in college. There was several times in college, like whenever they punted the ball, as a Clemson fan, just watching that ball float in the air, you're just praying, please let this man catch the ball. And then there was one time against Troy, he even ran the ball back, and he you know how they throw the ball behind them when they go in the end zone. Of course, the one punt return touchdown this man's about to have, he drops the ball short of the goal line. I'm just not a big fan of Ray.
I like it, man. You stole my words. I'm just gonna I know I'm last, but I agree. Nice take. I agree. I'm going Chiefs too. Janae, what's your thoughts? I can't. Also, you watch Moody miss a kick. That
She's
doesn't
going
help.
Chiefs. She's going Chiefs. I heard the sigh.
She doesn't want to. She's like, oh, just like we're gonna have coaches. We're probably all gonna go Chiefs too.
Chiefs.
Oh, Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Ned.
Pretty much what I echoed earlier as far as this game goes. This is experience versus a rookie, and Buckner has that. I mean, he's been on this stage before, and Moody missed a couple key field goals in this playoffs this season. So, and like he said, I mean, I understand watching a special teamer go out there and you just like, oh my God, I hope he does it. I hope he catches it. In my case, it was I hope he actually kicks it through the uprights with Cody Parkey. But we saw what happened with that many years ago. But yeah, no, the Chiefs all the way. The return game is solid. Their kicker solid. Punter is a push, like he said. But yeah, no, it's the Chiefs for me.
Nicely done, guys. Coaching, this is special teams could be a huge factor in a game where we think it could be close. I'm going Reed, and seriously, Spagnuolo is such a weapon for them as a defensive coordinator. Weapon. They would not even be sniffing this Super Bowl. I know they've got Mahomes and Kelsey, but they wouldn't be sniffing it if this defense wasn't top 3, top 4, and they've been playing like the best defense in football. And that is where I think they've got the edge, and it's because of their coaching. And that's why they won that Baltimore game. And it will be why they win this game if they do. Because as good as Mahomes is, you got to have a coach too. You could have a great player like Mahomes, but this is a huge difference. And Spagnuolo, I'm starting to wonder if he's just staying there because he's waiting for Reed to retire and he's going to take the head coach job. But that is such a difference maker. And honestly, Shanahan, I think it was Med who said it yesterday, becoming a little Dan Marino-esque here. Get to the Super Bowl, get to the NFC Championship, and then we got to see it in this game. This is a big one for him, legacy-wise. Janae, you want to go first? So I'm obviously going to tease. Janae, you can just cough Chiefs again if you want. You can just give me a C for Chiefs. There you go. Ben?
I said it the other day. It's the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Shanahan, like you touched up on what I quoted. He's the Dan Marino of coaches right now, and and really and truthfully, you could actually say he's the Dak Prescott in the playoffs as well. I mean, he's just not really delivered in the Super Bowl.
At least he's gotten to a Super Bowl. Dak hasn't sniffed the conference championship. But
No, you can't say that. He hadn't even got no championship yet.
What's up, dude?
Yeah.
That's another one of my students.
And that's the key thing is that he's went into the Super Bowl 2 times and
didn't deliver. I got you.
He didn't deliver, and he actually had the most talented team both times.
That's what irks my soul. It irks my existence. It's like, bro, look at the weapons you have. Look at the coaching staff you have. You have everything you need in front of you. This is chess, not checkers. Yep. Handle your business. Go up in there, do what you're supposed to do, and win. It's not hard.
Right.
And they've got the team to do this. So I agree with y'all. Lincoln,
that's what irks me.
We'll do our game picks next, and then I've got a couple. Yeah, man. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. I got another student on here. That's cool. We're talking Super Bowl. We're about to make our picks, and then I want to ask about commercials and some stuff. And then we'll, if I can talk the wife into it, I'll be back for one more before the Super Bowl. And thanks for checking on me, Janae. I'm doing okay. I'm sad the wife's gone. She's gone with the kiddo and a bunch of family, so I've been deliberately keeping really busy. Like, I don't think me and Matt planned to go for 3 hours yesterday, but we did.
But it was a good show. I watched. It was a good show.
Thank you. This one we're gonna cap it at an hour and a half at the latest because I'm getting hungry. Lincoln, coaching. I am very curious your thoughts here. What you got, sir?
So with the coaching, real quick, going back to what Med said, I think Shanahan's the Dan Marino right now of coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the Dak. It pains me.
Yeah, I can't get the Dak. Yeah.
It pains me as a Packers fan to say this, but is Matt LaFleur not the Dak Prescott of coaching right now?
Oh God!
Yes.
You know what?
Ooh.
Yes.
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 Hey, thank you, Aiden. I try to be a good math teacher. I appreciate it. A lot of my students are following me now. Here's the problem: is LaFleur is, dude, and I've got to see the dude. He's got to get this done. This is it can't all fall on freaking. It can't all fall on Rodgers in the past. He's not there anymore, and I'm really impressed with this year. But it's time, man. Like, get past Shanahan. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Tag me in, coach. Tag me in, coach.
But when I look at the Niners versus the Chiefs, I think one thing that is hurting Shanahan and his coaching, and I completely forgot about it. I'm sure some of y'all did too. It didn't really seem to matter last game, other than the play calling. Didn't really affect his play. But the Debo Samuel shoulder injury, that
Yeah.
jet sweep with Debo Samuel is a big part of the play calling for
Mhm.
Shanahan. I'd give the edge to Reed. Slightly, I think what Shanahan's been able to done with a lesser talented quarterback with Brock Purdy, I feel like that is very incredible what he's done, and with a guy like Jimmy G to be able to get that kind of play out of a guy like Jimmy G. I feel like Shanahan is a great head coach up there when it comes to scheme. But like you mentioned, the biggest difference to me is Steve Spagnuolo. As you know, it's turned into an offensive game in football, but when it comes down to it, defense still wins championships. We saw it with Michigan in the college football playoff. We're seeing it with
That's
the
right,
Chiefs now.
baby.
We're seeing it with the Chiefs now, and I think that we'll see it again on Sunday, a week from today. I think that's what it's going to be. The defense wins championships, and Spagnuolo, like you said, man, they're not even anywhere near where they're at right now without him and what he's been able to do and get out of that defense.
Mhm. We're gonna find out if Purdy really is lesser talented because I actually really like the kid, but I do see limitations. But
We're about to see.
he's started to use his wheels, and when he has time, he can deliver with accuracy. Now he's got the best weapon set in the NFL by a mile. But we're gonna find out. Nice. My other students listening. I've got 3 students listening now. It's crazy. It's so weird to be a teacher having your kids on the show. So let's do our game picks, and then I've got
Oh,
a
yeah.
couple other fun Super Bowl questions, and then that'll be it. But for a surprise episode. But game picks, I'm gonna go.
I'll go last.
I'm gonna go a little closer on this one. I'm gonna go 49ers. I'm gonna change my pick from yesterday, but I'm gonna stick with the 49ers, and I think that they are going to actually be able to slow the Chiefs offense down. I'll go 27-24. Janae, what you thinking?
I'm gonna go 33-31. Niners.
Niners, okay. Lincoln, what you got?
I'm going 34-30 Chiefs.
Ooh, high scoring, like it. And Med, what you thinking?
Because I think this, as far as Patrick Mahomes fitting perfectly with Andy Reid's scheme, I'm going to say the Chiefs are going to take this, but flip
Yeah, you do have a
score
point.
27-24.
So my score flips. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I got a couple other questions. If anybody else has any other questions, I do want to ask Janae in a minute about her show idea because we do want to add more shows to our network. We are trying to expand, and I'd like to get me and Med have talked about maybe capping it around 10 because we don't want different shows overlapping, but we'd love to get more shows in our network. We have 3. We have Shots from the Sideline, this show, The Fun Football Pod, and then mine and Med's Football Baby show, our little baby that we've made.
Love child.
Our love child. There you go. When the Blitz hits the fan. It's a panel show that's on Tuesdays, and we did it yesterday, a surprise episode. I think we're going to give it a rest this week because we just did 3 hours, and I don't know what else we can talk about with the Super Bowl. It's just one game. But I'm going to throw you guys a curveball. If you want me to go first, you have a second to think about it. What brand do you think puts out the funniest? I can hear. Yeah, Aiden. There's another guy on audio. There's another guy on audio. One of my students was asking. There's 4 people here. American Football Network is his YouTube. You should go check it out. American Football Network. Yeah, he doesn't. It's dark in his house right now. So anyway, all right. Who puts out the funniest or most memorable? You can pick between the 2. What brand? Like Skittles, Tide, Doritos always does a big one. A car. Who do you think puts out the funniest Super Bowl commercial? There's already been some good ones with Patrick Stewart throwing Hey Arnold as a football. That one was pretty sweet. So who do you think puts out the best Super Bowl commercial? Yeah, Hey Arnold was a football. And they had Creed playing the whole time. Go check it out. It's a Paramount Plus commercial.
I'm a big partial to the Bud Light commercials and Budweiser commercials that they've had in the past.
All right. Janae, what do you think?
Usually Pepsi or Coca-Cola does a pretty good Super Bowl commercial. Doritos too.
Doritos does too. Lincoln, who do you think?
I was watching TV today and I saw Budweiser kind of hinting at one of their Super Bowl commercials, so I expect that one to be pretty good. But I do got to say the funniest Super Bowl commercial I've ever watched, and I saw this one on YouTube, is the Terry Tate office linebacker, the Reebok commercial back. It was early 2000s.
The office
That one was
linebacker.
hilarious.
Oh, that was
Yep.
good.
I think that's like the funniest one I've seen for sure.
So there was a lot of funny ones. I like the What's Uppy. That was great. The linebacker one was awesome. But there was one my wife showed me with David Harbour from Stranger Things. And it was either 4 or 5 separate type commercials on the same Super Bowl. And it's absolutely ridiculous. I would recommend checking it out. It's awesome. Aiden's going to go with the Janae and the other guy doesn't have a webcam. I'm hoping that Eminem or Doritos puts out a good one. I'm also hoping for some fun movie trailers. I'm hoping maybe we get a Deadpool 3 teaser. That'd be sick. I don't think it's going to happen. That'd be freaking amazing. Or another Furiosa commercial. Or what are some of the big movies from coming out? But Godzilla Kong 2 would be nice. I'd like to see a trailer for that. It's coming out in March. So you think they'd have to drop it. Dune 2, I bet there'll be another big one because it comes out in a month. The football ones are always awesome. Or the big they always do for the summer and the late spring. They always drop some big movie trailers here, so I'm excited for that.
Here's the question I do want to ask. I've saw a few rumors, and I don't know if I really think this is gonna happen or not. But obviously, we're supposed to get something on the new EA Sports college football game during the national championship. That never happened. Somebody mentioned the idea, what if they're going to run something during the Super Bowl, some kind of commercial or something on the EA Sports college football game? I don't really see that coming because I feel like it's kind of different audiences. But maybe something like that. I don't know. I saw some rumors swirling around that, but you know how they like to get caught up with all the EA Sports rumors and stuff with it.
How much do you think the NFL ratings will blow up if Taylor Swift actually performed at halftime?
Ugh, please.
And save us from Usher. Because I'm honestly I'm not excited. I'm just not. How do you feel about it? Are you guys that's what's going to be my next one. Are you guys excited about Usher? Because I'm not.
I like Usher.
I like Usher.
I do like his old stuff, but it's been 15 years since I've heard a song that really like 10.
He's come out with some.
In the last 10 years?
Yeah, he did a song with the City Girls.
I haven't even heard it. I'm going to have to check it out after. Honestly, it just felt like Rihanna hadn't done much in the last decade either. Like, she took the last 7 years off. But it's Rihanna.
But she did do a song for the new Wakanda Forever movie. That's
true. She had that one song. That was good. Okay. Really quick, and then we'll do our plugs, and I want to ask Janae about her show. And if anybody has any other questions, throw them out. But what's y'all's favorite halftime show of all time? Or top 2 if you're tied?
I have to go with Prince and Michael Jackson.
I like them. We talked this yesterday too.
They're actual musicians and artists.
I like it. Very nice.
They're real musicians.
Bring some music to the fun football.
Yes, they're real musicians. Anybody of all ages, genre, race, creed, or color can jam to Michael and Prince. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can jam to those two. You know what I'm saying?
Loves Prince, and I love Michael Jackson.
I love Prince. Yeah. I told my husband I would have left him for Prince.
I think my wife left me for Prince too. So I mean,
I'm gonna just throw it out there that I think that's possible as well.
Yeah.
Not Michael, but Prince. Matt, is the same Prince for you?
Michael Jackson, but if I was that's just showing my age from when he performed in Pasadena. But another one that I really did enjoy was the Bruno Mars one.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Mars, so
that was a good one. I liked when he came on and did Uptown Funk on the Coldplay one with Beyonce. That was pretty sweet too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that helped. I've seen Coldplay live and they're good, but that added something to that show. Lincoln, what's yours? 1 or 2?
Yeah, so I got two of them. I really love the Beyonce, Coldplay, and Bruno Mars halftime show. But the other one I really enjoyed too was when it was Dr. Dre, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, 50
Yeah,
Cent, Snoop Dogg,
you had
all of those. I
50.
love that one.
You had 50 coming down, hanging. They had him hanging.
And 50, it is
Yeah,
50
Snoop,
Cent.
that's
He's
my
such a
dog. I
star.
love me some Snoop, man. That's my homie.
So in that one, you had Mary J. Blige, you had 50, you had Eminem, you had Dr. Dre, you had Snoop, and you had Kendrick Lamar. Like, and it flowed.
It was a 90
That one was.
kids
It did,
dream.
and they all came together, and it wasn't a mess, and it wasn't all over the place. It was
I gotta give Rihanna some credit for following that up because unless my memory serves me wrong, that was 2 years ago. Rihanna following up last year and killing it by herself, pregnant. After
pregnant.
that,
Mhm.
really is pretty impressive because it was by herself and she followed up those 6 legends, and she's a legend of her own. So I was impressed. So that was pretty
Yes.
sweet. I'm just hoping we get a good show. Chris Stapleton killed the national anthem last year. I'm hoping
That-
if everyone wants to
that's
see it,
what I
I
was
think it was
about to
last
ask.
year.
That's what I was about to ask. What was y'all's favorite national anthem of the Super Bowl? I think it's Chris Stapleton by a mile.
It's
Um,
actually him for me too. I was impressed, dude.
I want to say Whitney Houston did it one
Thank
time.
you. Yes. Yes.
And
Hold on,
I mean,
I'm gonna have to Google this one.
you're going to have to listen to that one. I'm pretty sure that she has done one.
But I think
and dude,
that was for the
okay.
Olympics, though. I don't think that was for Super Bowl.
You think so?
I'm checking it out. Aretha Franklin did 2006. Neil Diamond.
Oh Lord, I knew that.
Backstreet Boys.
Okay.
Dang, this
Oh,
is a bad
Backstreet Boys.
list. Kelly Clarkson. Garth Brooks did one. Gladys Knight did one. Alicia Keys. Where's the?
Well, I grew up during the 90s, so like everyone you send here, I mean, it when you mention these names, it's like taking me back 20 something years. So, 43.
Yeah, she sang the Star Spangled Banner. Yep, the national anthem at the
Okay.
1991 Super Bowl. Good.
Yes, she did.
Oh man.
Did she have on a tracksuit when she did it? She sounded very. I
Yeah.
mean, it's Whitney. Hello.
Yes, she
It's
did.
Whitney.
She had a headband. Too.
Yeah,
Yep,
it
it's
was the
Whitney.
90s.
Hello.
Okay.
Everyone had a tracksuit.
Okay.
Did anybody have any other questions? Lincoln, you got anything else?
I think that's everything.
Okay, so guys, please check
I
out
do.
the American. Okay, go ahead. I want to talk about your show in a second. I'm going to plug his, and then we're going to talk about your
Okay.
show idea.
Now that Rogers is gone for us,
Uh-huh.
okay. Remember, Matt LaFluke said that he was the problem.
Mhm.
Okay. Now that he gone, you didn't do no more than what you did when he was there.
Well,
What's
we
the problem,
did more
bruh?
this year. We're gonna give him. This year, we weren't expecting anything. Everyone's gonna walk into next year, and I'm hoping they're not expecting Super Bowl with this young of a team, but the expectations are gonna rise. So we're gonna find out. I'm gonna give him 3 years because I think that's fair.
I'll say LaFleur did a great job this year. I mean, look, last year they
Yeah.
didn't make the playoffs with Rodgers. People expected us to finish.
But
I mean,
Rogers
just
was
barely
hurt.
above the
7 to
Bears.
10. Yeah,
Yeah.
they thought we'd be third.
But my thing is this, y'all, they hyped Love up, right? They wanted Love to replace Rodgers. Why not put Love in last year versus having Rodgers play with a messed up hand for the rest of the season?
I completely agree. They should have
I
told
thought
Rodgers
that
to
was
sit.
messed up. And I'm like, okay, obviously you didn't have faith in your man that you was hyping up, bruh.
No, I think Rodgers just had the organization as hostage, and he just wasn't going to sit.
I think that, and I think also too. Think about it. Rodgers was obviously QB1, so Love didn't have any time with first team all through the off season, all through the actual season, and he wasn't getting first team reps with guys. That was all Aaron Rodgers. So I think part of it would have been the readiness, considering Love hadn't really practiced or taken any kind of first team reps with any of those guys.
Yeah, good
So,
take. I do expect more this year, but we'll see.
so me being a Bears fan, this is what I looked at it as. Basically, it was the same situation that Aaron Rodgers went through with Brett Favre. He waited 3 years before he got his chance. And, as far as like what they did, they just paid the man a lot of money. They're going to go with him because they felt like he was going to be the one that gives him the best chance to win a Super Bowl. And that's
Right.
just being honest. Jordan Love at the time, we're looking at 3 years, probably may not have been ready. But at the same time, I felt like it was a very similar situation that happened to Jordan Love, that happened to Rodgers when he was underneath
True.
Brett Favre.
But to me,
Well,
you didn't have a choice but to be ready. You stomp it with the big dogs. You signed the contract. You got paid millions and millions of dollars, both
Right.
of them. Next
No,
man
I
up.
just don't think Rodgers was willing to sit, and I just don't think that they were willing to fight with him
Mhm.
after everything that happened. So I think that's it.
Yeah, there was a
Answer your
lot
question.
going on.
Well, I mean, he used to go
So-
into the dark room after every season. I mean, he had that team. Y'all's team was wrapped around y'all's finger, and I mean, I'll be
I'm
honest.
so happy to be free of that crap. I'm so over it. Let the Jets deal with it.
And you
Not
know,
Not
I
only
mean,
that, I wouldn't put it past Rodgers had they put Love in for him to just say, "Screw it, I'll just retire." Pull something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that on him.
and that's
Exactly.
probably what was
But I
said.
mean, he's earned it.
Well, no, Rodgers is probably, in my opinion, probably the best quarterback that y'all have had. I mean,
Yeah.
I agree.
So I mean, Brett Favre was good,
That's
but
my
Brett Favre
dog.
was like, Brett Favre. He when
He was
you can
great.
sit there and you're in Soldier Field and you can discount double check after you score a touchdown, point at all the fans that are like me, a Bears fan, and say, "I own your team," and you can't say shit back. Sorry.
Stuff
that's
that. Yeah.
that's enough right there. I mean, kids, do not repeat what I said. Isaac is probably like, "Oh my God, Med said a bad word on my podcast," but that is what it is.
I just feel, that Rodgers did a lot for our franchise, and it's just like the disrespect towards his name. It irks me because look at all the crap that he had to take when he did take over Favre's spot.
Yep.
Then all the crap he took towards the end of his career.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like, all right, now that history is repeating itself, that's why you Bears fans are in y'all's feelings because we got away with it yet again. History
So it's
repeats
gonna be interesting if the Bears can be smart here and land their quarterback, because we could have a really
Well,
fun
I
dogfight
think
in
they
this
will.
division.
I think it's going to
I mean,
be a three-way fight.
it's going to be. Hey, Lincoln, thank you for hopping on. We're about to hop off. We're going to pitch today's show, and then I'm starving. I'm going to dip. So, guys, are you still Lincoln? Are you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'll stay on till the end.
Okay. So, guys, please go check out Janae. We're going to talk to her about her show really quick. But please go check out Shots from the Sideline, Med Show. It's on YouTube, Twitter. It's got a Facebook page. Go check him out. He's got a great show. I'll be on Tuesday. He's does a lot of save the franchise stuff. He does a lot of college. His money mate isn't on there, so I don't be able to give you an SEC spotlight. I'm sorry, bud.
So
it's an inside joke, like
come on, Seth, something else. But
yeah, I wish he was out there listening. That'd be funny.
as far as the franchise, this week we're going to be covering the Raiders, the Colts, the Saints, and the Seahawks. We're going to be talking about free agency, probably looking at
Lord.
go, and we
Yep.
also probably predict a draft pick. So that's what we're doing today. Then and we'll even sprinkle in some NBA stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
And if I get another person, I would love to do an NBA trade deadline special on the fun. I know it's on a fun football podcast. I might have to change the name. I don't want to, but I'm going to do a trade deadline special if I can get one person. If not, I'm still probably going to do it. So hopefully I can find one person. I'm going to do that Thursday night.
The Shots is not a strictly football. We talk mostly football. I used to play football, but yeah, we're not just.
I know. I kind of handicap myself. I'm just going to throw some NBA in.
So
and then guys, please check out. I'm going to give you a link in the floor here. Check out American Football Network. I had a blast on there, and he does a lot of variety of stuff. But I had a blast doing. We did our first round mock today, and that was awesome. So please check them out. And Lincoln, if you want to give it a plug, say anything here.
Oh yeah, appreciate y'all having me on. First of all, but yeah, this week is pretty much just going to consist of mock draft. To do one Monday, Wednesday, Friday, pretty much from now until draft time. Do 2 or 3 for each team. But yeah, that first round mock that I did with Fun Football Podcast will be out tomorrow, probably about noon Eastern time. So make sure you guys check that out for sure. It was a lot of fun over there. I appreciate you coming on. But I'm gonna hop off. Appreciate you guys having me on. I look forward to doing more shows with you guys in the future.
Hey,
Yep, man. We're gonna be
more than welcome.
Yep, man. We're gonna be doing some more collabs for sure. Thanks, dude.
For
and
sure.
then
See y'all.
Janae, thanks, man. And Janae,
Yeah,
if you want to pitch your show idea,
sure.
we're gonna talk about that too.
It's just like something quick I thought of. I'm like, okay, we're always talking about rivalries. We're always talking about which team is the best and which rivalry is the best in the NFL. And then also, there's rivalries within your household because some people live in a house that's divided. So I wanted to call the show House Divided, and I wanted to talk about rivalries like Dallas and the Giants or Green Bay and the Bears or, just main rivalries, the Steelers and the Cleveland. There's always a fight when the Steelers and Cleveland is in the building. So, I always wanted to get on there and brainstorm and start that. And what better platform than to do it with you guys? Because we already got our Bears right here in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And we got our Green Bay, and then we can get somebody that's probably like a Lions fan or something. Like, just bring different people, you know what I'm saying? So we could discuss, rivalries and who's the best rivalry and who's owned who for up to years. And, I thought that would be cool.
No, I agree with you on that. We actually were talking about doing something very similar and naming the division. And then we saw someone else already took it.
We saw someone already had a Lions, Packers, Vikings, NFL data, but there's a bunch of people. They even took the name. They even had the name already. We were going to do an NFC North called Black and Blue, because that's what it used to be called, and it was already taken. So we instead made Blitz Hits the Fan, which has been a blast. And the cool thing about that one is that one doesn't have to, even though it sounds like it because there's Blitz, it doesn't have to be strictly NFL either. So, Janae, I'm going to go ahead and do my last plugs. If you want to stay on for a second after I end it, we'll talk for a minute. Okay? Sure. Guys, thank you for listening to episode 38 of the Fun Football Pod. Go check out Shots from the Sideline. Check out When the Blitz Hits the Fan. We're both on podcast. Boys Network, and I think we're going to probably have our 4th show here. And I've had some other feelers, so hopefully we'll have like a full network of shows soon, but we did just start it. And check that out. It's on Twitter and Facebook as well. And this is episode 38, and you can check out all episodes of the Fun Football Podcast on Facebook. A lot of them are on YouTube, but they're all on Facebook. They're on Spotify, all audio. I'll start putting them back up on there. And they're also on Twitter. And I've been lazy with the Spotify stuff because, like, when it gets 20 listens, I'm like, But I had some students ask about it. We'll do it. So thank you, guys. If I can talk to wife or somebody, I may be back next Sunday for a preview on Super Bowl Sunday, maybe. But then I'll be taking a hiatus after the Super Bowl. I'll do a recap show, and then I'm going to take some time, regroup, just take some time off, play some video games, come back for free agency, and me and Med will be doing a huge mock draft. We've got 8 people in April, a mock draft special, which we're very excited about, and it'll probably be on the Fun Football Podcast feeds, but it'll be a Blitz show, and it's also, I did not say this again, dang it. Thank you to Shady Sports Network for having the Fun Football Podcast. I keep forgetting this every time. Thank you for having us, and thank you, everybody, for listening. And I'm going to go get some food. So see you guys soon.
Later. Have a nice night.